All right, all right, all right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. How are you guys? I hope you're staying warm. I am told it's very hot in Naivasha. It's very hot in Nakuru. It's very hot in Nanyuki. I don't know what Nairobians have done. But oh my God, it has been freezing the last couple of days. But we are grateful. We are happy for everything. Okay. I am wondering, okay. I hope everyone can be able to engage. If you can see my chat, please say hello. Somebody had indicated I needed to check chat, but yes, I have seen. Okay, fine, I get it. All right, so thank you very much for making the time to join us. This is Get It Right with Atara Solutions, a webinar series that seeks to demystify issues in entrepreneurship and employment. We do this every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we do this in partnership with a number of organizations. And we are so excited. It's the HR month. And this month we have entirely been discussing matters human resources. And I think we are doing quite well. And we will finish the HR series next week. That's not to say that we are not discussing other HR matters. You know how we roll. We do HR, we do biashara, we do marketing, we do sales, we do everything that affects businesses. And we try to reach out to as many people as possible. And all right, I am trying to get a hold of something that was shared earlier this morning because I wanted to share it with you guys. And somehow I am not able to find it. All right, but I believe I will be able to find it just soon. So right, okay, yeah, I got it. So this is Get It Right with Atara Solutions. As always, I am your host, Grace Nzula. And my co-host, Catherine Sidandi. I don't know where Kevin is at today. I co-host this with Kevin Adipo, who is also a mentee. We are trying to get to be hosting this, especially when I'm away. And of course, we are trying to be as inclusive as possible. That's why we have Catherine Sidandi with us. And of course, trying to demystify quite a number of issues. And yeah, like I said, we do this in partnership with a number of organizations. Allow me to also recognize them. And we have, I hope I have, okay, yeah, so we have Balcon Housing. Balcon Housing is a real estate and property management company. They are located in Nairobi, but they sell pieces of land from anywhere around the country. If you're looking to own a plot or a piece of land somewhere for farming, for building a home, or for anything, they will be able to hook you up with a piece of land. If you own a plot or a house that you're looking for somebody to manage it for you, then Balcon Housing will be able to sort that out for you. And then we have Stallion Construction Company. Stallion Construction is a construction firm, like the name it spells out. And if you're looking to renovate your house or your office or subdivide your office, do repairs around the house, like change your tiles or change some window pane somewhere, or just put blinders in your office, then Stallion Construction will be able to do that for you. And then we have Pathway Solution Services. Pathway Solution Services is a training company. They have been with us from season 2, and now we are with them on season 3. Yes. By the way, Get It Right is on season 3, and Pathway Solution has been offering free trainings, and always today, 3 people from this, from the people tuned in will get an opportunity to be trained for free by Pathway Solutions. They offer training on the LMS, and right now during the HR month, Frank has been more than generous. He has offered to train people in organizations. So if you're running an organization and you're looking to train your staff on a number of courses, Frank has offered to give 10 companies free training via Zoom or Google Meet for up to 100 people in the month of August. So I will let you know how you can apply for that one and you stand a chance to win. We have so far trained quite a number of people, and I'll be sharing with you some testimonials from the people who've been trained previously. And then we have Institute of Pension Management. Institute of Pension Management is a member firm, and they also run a school. The school offers HR courses, pension management courses, among others. If you're in this forum and you're wondering where to take on your CHRP, then Institute of Pension Management would be your best bet. They are located on Ojijo Road, near as you go to Westlands, and they have online classes for CHRP. So for all the HRs who are tuned in here and you're looking to take on your CHRP, then Institute of Pension Management will be your best bet, and they offer online courses or physical courses depending on how you want to handle it. And then we have the College of Career Guidance and Development, who offer a diploma in career guidance and management. If you're HR here and you're looking to also get talks on career management in your organizations, or if you're a teacher here and you look to have your students guided in career management, then College of Career Guidance and Development will be able to sort you out on that. And then we have Fina Gardens. Fina Gardens resort is a resort located in Naivasha. If you're looking to take on a holiday, if you're looking to take on vacation, if you're just looking for staycation or something just out of this town, or if you're in Naivasha what do we call them? For a retreat, or you have gone for a training and you're looking for a place to put up, then Fina Gardens Resort will be your best place to go. Their fish is out of this world. They have a pool, and you know Naivasha can get very, very hot, and their rooms are really good and spacious. The food is excellent. So if you're there, Fina Gardens has offered has given an offer to Get It Right followers. If you are a part of us and you go to Fina Gardens, you just need to mention Grace Nzula, or you are a follower of Atara Solutions, and you get instant 10% discount for whatever amount you spend. And in the month of August, if you're taking a trip down to Naivasha, you book 2 nights, they'll pay for you 1 night for free. So imagine if you've gone there for a training that starts on Tuesday, so you only pay Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday they'll do it for free. Alafu si Friday mnarudi Nairobi. So imagine that. So Fina Gardens, you just need to go and say you are a follower of Get It Right with Atara Solutions, or you can name drop, Grace Nzula. And then we have Panessa Training Institute. It's a college for woodworking. If you're on this call and you have a passion for woodworking, then Panessa Training Institute is your best bet. And then we have WeClean. WeClean is a carpet cleaning company. They clean your carpet within 24 hours. Even right now in this cold, you don't have to worry about putting up with a dirty carpet because it's very cold. They'll pick it up. Pick up in Nairobi is free. So they'll be able to pick it up today and clean it and deliver it tomorrow to you. And it's free in Nairobi. Let me just insist on that. So WeClean, you can check them out on Instagram. You can reach out to me and I'll be able to share with you the number. And then we have Kapula Mintito. Kapula Mintito is an online shop that sells cashew nuts. They sell mabuyu, they sell Simos gel, they sell honey. If you're in Mombasa and you're looking for all these items, they can get them to you. And of course, they deliver countrywide. Kapula Mintito, their mabuyu, I can promise you, I have not eaten. Please, if you're in Mombasa, do not go and get mabuyu anywhere else. Just call me, I'll give you the number and you will tell the difference. And then we have the Career Management Center, which is a HR firm. They have a program for moms who are looking to bounce back into employment. And for those who have taken a break because they're raising a family, the Career Management Center will be able to do that for you. And of course, we have Jane who does career coaching. She's a certified career coach and she'll be able to walk with you the journey. If you're looking for a career coach, you can get in touch with me and I'll hook you up with Jane. And then we have Ames College of Business and Technology. Ames College of Business and Technology offers all diploma courses, anything that you may be thinking about in the business world. Ames College of Business has that for you. And then I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the event of the year. Allow me to call it that. We have an event coming up on the 29th of July 2022. For those of you who are wondering, how do you become more analytical, or rather HR analytics and metrics? There is a dinner coming up at only Kenya shillings 2,000 bob. 2,000 shillings, you come and wine and dine with HR analytics experts and metrics. We are discussing sitting in boards, and one of the way you can excel at, and I'm sure our speaker this evening will be able to share with us, you have to love your numbers. You have to have a business angle to your to the board. So please come join us on the 29th of July. This is Friday next week at Kenya shillings, at 2,000 shillings from 6 p.m. We are discussing HR analytics and metrics dinner. And this is brought to you by Ace and Doyens. All of you know Nelson Aguda. He has been a champion for HR analytics, and he will be also launching an app that you can use for HR analytics and metrics. So I'm really, really excited and looking forward to that. Please, if you're on this call and you need to book, kindly get in touch with us, or you can follow the advertisements happening on all the HR forums for you to also be able to join the team. So without further ado, I know I have talked a lot, and I want to introduce to us our speaker for this evening. This one I am definitely reading the bio because wow, it was quite impressive. I'm really excited, and I don't know why it's taking the time to load. Yeah, okay, all right. So Lucy is, wow. I don't understand sometimes this technology. And my screen has just gone, okay, here we go. All right, so allow me to introduce our speaker this evening. Her name is Lucy Wairimo, excuse me. Lucy Wairimo holds a master's in organization development. She's a transformational leader, people, culture, capability and governance for development expert. She is a certified mediator. No, wait, let me not read the summary. Ngoja kwanza. She's a regional business leader, and her aim is to help humanitarian and development organizations achieve their objectives by delivering innovative, strategic, workable people culture and governance solutions through design, development, implementation, and evaluation of effective people and culture. People, culture, and governance policies, organization development programs, among others. She has more than 18 years experience in progressive HR practice. And then I am jumping on to, she's an international certified professional workplace mediator and trainer, certified professional HR international and Society of Human Resource Management, certified professional and a seasoned active SPHRI, CHRPB, and TMI certification and trainer, international and local board director, board evaluator, and transformative leader. Why? She is a fellow at the American Academy of Project Management, a member of the Kenya Institute of Directors, Kenya Institute of the Institute of Human Resources, the Kenya Institute of Management, and MTI East Africa. She's board advisor, EWD Foundation, Kenya, Nigeria, and Rwanda, board director and treasurer at CBM Global, board director, CBM Kenya, and non-executive board director, Predictive Analytics Lab. Wow. You know, I had to read that because you guys think that HR does not sit in board. And we want to challenge ourselves this evening and figure out how exactly do we get, first, how do we get a seat on the table? And two, what do we do with the table then? I mean, we have gotten the seat, so what? What are we going to do about it? And Lucy, without further ado, please help us find a way to become more strategic as HR professionals.
Grace, sometimes I think you should have been a reporter. That was fantastic. Thank you very much. I almost didn't think you were reading about me. Good evening, everybody. I am so glad you could join this fireside chat, and I call it a fireside chat because it's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to have a conversation. I hope you have your cup of tea. We're not in an office. Let's have this conversation for about 35 minutes or so. And allow me to thank Atara Solutions for inviting me to speak with you this evening. I'm especially excited and happy to see Catherine Sidandi. and especially doing the sign language, which really, really fascinates me. I think it's a good thing that Atara is doing to have everybody included. And especially because I sit in one of the boards that leads in disability inclusive development. So I'm really excited to see that happening right here. So I was telling Grace just before we started that I don't know how to speak on camera when it's a Zoom. I prefer, face to face, but obviously, it's not possible to be in front of an audience this evening because when the camera is on, I usually don't know if to look at myself or to look at the screen or to look at, the little camera up there. So I really find that challenging. But then again, because I'm not going to be sharing any PowerPoint presentations or sharing my screen, so I think I'm going to try and leave my camera on if I can, because this is going to be a chat, and I want us to be able to be as interactive as possible towards the end, of course, so that we can have some sort of order going on. So I'm really glad that you could join. And I think because if you're like me, you probably want to catch the debate, I will get right into what we came here to do. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about, having my voice heard. And I remember growing up, I really, really wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to study law. And then even before I could even articulate this, to my parents and everybody else, my dad used to call me magistrate. So in the beginning, I didn't quite understand, what a magistrate did or who a magistrate was. But every time he would come home in the evening very late and of course, very happy from, wherever they come from, very happy, he would wake me up and say, yo, wake up, magistrate, and then we'd have a conversation. So he knew, and I knew from a very young age that I had a voice, and this voice had to be heard. And for me, it was, to be able to speak on justice matters, to be able to stand up for people. So I knew I had this voice and it had to be heard somehow. So fast forward, I went ahead and enrolled in one of the local universities for a law degree, which I did for a year, and then the rest is just history. I just want you to know I didn't complete that degree, but I want you to know the reason I'm telling you that is because I knew that I had to find my voice, and I knew how to get started to getting my voice heard. And why am I telling you this is because obviously today we're going to talk about having your voice heard. I'm sure you're here because you're interested in knowing how do I get my voice heard in the highest of places in any company or entity? And that's the boardroom. I mean, that's where the action happens. So you probably want to know how you would, you can get there. Now, I think, I believe that when we say as professionals, we want, give us a seat at the table. We know we are out with placards and saying, we want a seat at the table. I hope we're referring to the boardroom. And although, we have to be very, very cognizant that there are people who, or professionals, even amongst us right now, are probably in the HR practice and still haven't even made it to the SMT level. And the SMT, this is a senior management team, or SLT, senior leadership team, as you would call it in your companies or in your organization. So I have to be very cognizant that it may not necessarily, what I'm about to say may not necessarily just address you sitting or getting a seat at the table, at the boardroom table, but really also at the management level. So that will be moving you now from where you are at as a practitioner to moving to where the decisions are made before you get to the highest level, which is the board, the board level. So if you're in that category, I believe the few tips I'm going to give you today, or tonight rather, will get you that seat at the table. And also we must be cognizant that if you look closely, you will see that some organizations are viewing the board level HR as a way to sort of improve diversity figures. If you look very closely, because the buzzword lately has been, diversity, inclusion, belonging. And so every time we think about that, the first card that plays into our minds is what? Is a gender card. And it is true. Most organizations are doing that, say, okay, in our board, we have, several X gender. So let's let's get this other gender to ensure that we have diversity and inclusion. And this is because about 43% of HR directors are female. I mean, you would expect them to say, okay, let's get a HR director onto our board because she is female. But you see, that's not what this is about, because the board seat is not gender bias. You know, you get yourself to the board not because you're female, not because you're male, but because you're a leader and you're able to, articulate and understand what that entails, what being on that table or getting that seat at the table means. Now, before we even look at how you position yourself or how you get yourself to that particular table or how you get, the woodworks and everything and build for yourself a seat and a table, I want us to answer the question why. Because before any decision I take personally, I like to ask myself, why am I doing this? Why is this way? Why? And as leaders, it is important for us to begin with the question, why? And please, people, because I am not, I'm not sharing my screen, I'm not sharing any PowerPoint presentations, please ensure that you take quick notes so that you can refer to them later. So let's answer the question, why? Why do we say HR needs to have a seat at the table? Yeah, this is a point I feel like pausing and saying, if you have an answer, maybe Grace, you can check the chats and see if there's anyone writing on why they think we should have a seat at the table. We'll look at that later, but let me just go on and say,
yeah, just one
yeah,
minute.
go ahead.
I don't know. Somehow I have no idea how my chat is disabled. I am trying to find out how, but we can use the question and answer as I figure that out. I don't know what to do, but they can use the Q&A tab.
Perfect. Actually, we can do. Let's move on, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. So let's answer the question why. And I believe my why in this particular case would be, just looking at businesses, corporations, companies, you name them, entities. All these businesses are moved by people. People shape businesses, people move businesses, people shape cultures, and therefore investing in people is critical to any business. Very, very critical. And then let's get down to the wire. HR is the custodian of people and the backbone of companies. And so it's very, very paramount. It's very important for HR to have a seat at the table. Why? Because then you get to articulate, to represent the people aspect of the business, to the direction and strategy of the organization at that particular board level. Because even if you write strategies, you write all the manifestos you can write for the organization and where you are headed. If there are no people to move the strategies, if there are no people to ensure that what you're writing down gets done, then there's no company. So you being the custodian of people, then you are very integral in shaping the strategic direction of any company. And I believe that's why, that is our why. Why? That is the why we should sit in the boardroom. Now, how do you then position yourself or prove your worth to earn a seat at the board level or even at the SMT? So emotions aside, so we have to be very objective as HR people. For a very long time, we have complained and said, oh, people look at us as paper pushers. People look at us as our work is to hire and fire. And sometimes we don't even have the power to fire, we hire, So we have all this, we have had these complaints. But then again, I think HR has evolved in such a way that we are seeing a lot of changes, a lot of a shift in the way we have been running, or HR has been running as a business component. Now we're talking about strategic HR, which is also business HR. We are seeing titles change from personnel to HR officer to now we are talking about business partners. So there's a lot of change that has been happening. And for us to be able to earn this seat at this highest level of running an entity or a company, then I will give us a very few but very, very powerful, workable tips that if you work on this every day and focus, then the boards will come to you. You will not even look for board positions. And I will say this very direct, but also very humbly. Some of the boards I sit on they are boards that have come to me. And towards the end, I'll tell you how even some board interviews are conducted, because they're not conducted as your usual job interview. So once you practice what I'm about to tell you, you can be sure for sure you will get a seat at the table. So if you're ready for the tips on how you can get to sit and get your voice heard in the boardroom, position yourself. This is important. I hope you're still writing down what we're talking about, and you can sip your tea, please. It's a fireside chat. Eh? Let's relax. So tip number one, and by the way, I have put them in order of priority, in order of importance, in the order of the basics. You must. There's no two way about it. There's no question about it. You must have business acumen. As HR people, you cannot support something that you do not understand. So when I talk about business acumen, I mean understand generally the world of business. How does business work? Go to the nitty-gritties of why even in the first place do businesses exist? Why do people run businesses? Why do we have companies? Why do we have organizations, humanitarian development, profit making, not for profit? Why do these organizations exist? And really think carefully. Once you understand the world of business, and there's so many ways you can understand the world of business, by reading, by watching, by listening, and just taking an interest in understanding business. And then think about what internally and externally drives businesses. What makes businesses work, you know? And then once you know what makes businesses work, both internally, what are the challenges? What are the internal challenges? What are the external strengths? All those things that make businesses work. And then go down, and as you can see, I'm using a funnel approach. Then go down to thinking, what is our business? So if you work at Atara, what does Atara do? Why is Atara exist? Why does it exist? What is Atara's bottom line? Where and how do you get your money? That's the bottom line. Where do you get it? And then, because I know for sure, as HR people, it's professionals, it's very difficult to even run a strategic department without knowing what your business is about, where your money is coming from and where your money is going. The other thing is you must comprehend financials. Remember, we are still under understanding the business. We're still under the business acumen tip. You must comprehend financials. I think if there's something I feared in school were calculations and mathematics. Anything to do with math, I really feared. And as I progressed in my, in my education, I realized, I started now changing the fear from I don't fear mathematics. Now I'm like questioning, where am I ever going to use these calculations? You know, even in campus, when I was doing my master's, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to practice HR. I don't need these numbers. But I didn't know that for you to practice good HR, you have to understand your numbers. You have to know why. And I think you can remember, and that trend is changing. Anytime a CEO left or went on leave, who did they leave in charge? The finance manager, the finance director, because it takes us back to the scorecard, which is like the holy grail of an organization. They're looking at the financials. They understand financials. They speak business. So you have to learn the business language. There is no two way about that. You have to understand that. Tip number 2, you must be up to date with current affairs. There is no two way about it. You cannot be a leader and not know what is happening around you. You cannot be a leader and not understand how what is happening around you affects your business, how it's going to affect your business or not. So you must understand what is happening locally, regionally, internationally. You must understand. And in the areas of all areas that affect businesses, even for you, how is this thing that is happening how is climate change, for instance, going to affect us as a business? Look at socially, how is this going to affect us socially? Technologically, how are we going to be affected? Now we are getting into the era of elections. I hear some people saying, me, I don't talk politics. I don't like politics. How does it help me? If you are a business leader, you will understand that it is important to have your ear on the ground to understand what is going on in the political world, because it heavily affects your business. It affects your organization or your company economically, even socially. So you have to be very, very sure that you are keeping up with the current affairs. One of the things I do every morning, I try to do every morning without fail, is look at headlines of every newspapers. When it's Kenya, I'll go a little bit deeper. And you can get newspapers such as the East African, which will cover the region, a bit of the region. You can get the Mail and Guardian online. You can get Nation newspapers. You can get Standard newspapers. I'm not saying spend your employer's time reading newspapers, but make sure you understand what are the things that are going on right now, because then you'll be able to understand how they affect your business, okay? Number 3, you must have a strategic perspective on issues, my friends. You cannot be a leader and not think long-term. You must think, your leadership must be for posterity. Any decision you make, how is it going to affect the company in 2 years, in 3 years, in 4 years? You have to always be strategic. And then your strategic view of things should be so connected with what is happening, what the organization wants to realize, and the decisions you're making towards that. So you have to be very, very strategic in your perspective, not surface, not surface. You have to think, if I do this, how is this going to affect my people? How is it going to affect the future? And for you guys, HR people, we are constantly talking about the buzzword. The word we like to talk about nowadays is the future of work. How does the future of how is work looking like in the future? But really, if I get a hold of you and I ask you, what do you mean? What is future of work? How does it look like for you generally and even in your organization? Most people think the future of work generally means there will be robots, we shall have no work. Really? We have to understand, especially for us in the world of work, when we sit in that boardroom and we are pitching for something, we have to be able to tell, this is how I foresee in 4 years, the robots should be able to be, even now, I think there's dispensing medicine in pharmacies, to be honest, in South Africa. So we should be able to see how this is going to work. Does it mean there will not be workforce, or the productivity will improve as a result of innovation? When we talk about innovation, guys, we don't just, at the mention of innovation, what comes to mind? Technology. It's not necessarily technology. So these are things we need to be able to look at from a strategic perspective. Number 4, and I'm trying to move very fast, my friends, is we have to be very highly analytical. You must be able to analyze things. You must be able to and listen and think and analyze. You have to get deeper. You have to understand the relationship of A and B, the cause and effect. If you remember those things we were doing in school and you are saying, no, this one does not apply to me. Now it's coming to us. Statistics, how does this relate to this? How does this make this one change? You have to analyze everything. For instance, if you're saying, if one of the directors came and said, we want to open 5 branches, and you sit in that board and say, okay, how does opening 5 branches affect A, B, C, D? You have to analyze and see, does opening 5 branches, affect the quality of the products we produce or not? Or should we open 3 and not 2? So what will put us out of business? What will grow our business? So you have to think and be very, very analytical of everything. Number 5, you have to, and this is important. Everything I tell you is important, but this one is very important. Data is the new oil. Data is the new oil, my friends. You must back up your story with data. So this tip I'm calling, learn to make data-driven decisions. Do not make emotional decisions. Please, I need to give people an inflationary collar percentage because these guys have been here for too long. They've worked so much. They are saying the inflation could be high. No. Why are we giving an collar increase? Why? Where will the money come from? If you're saying you should be able to say, if we save from this percentage to create this percentage will be enough for us to give collar. Why? Because unga is 203 shillings today, but we are also projecting by the time elections are done, these guys cannot be able to put back the unga, at 80 shillings. So we are still projecting that by 2022 December or 2023 February, the unga will probably even go to 210. So we are saying this is how much we can be able to save from here and give a percentage. So you must back up your story, not emotions, but you have to have an objective and a point of telling the board what the numbers are telling us. So you have to be you have to make data-driven decisions. You want to change a policy in the organization, you want a buy-in from the board, go and tell them, you know what, I actually ran a survey and I realized this is what data is showing me out there in the field. And if you look at this percentage and you look at the people we compare with in the market, you will see that there's a correlation. And so I am hoping we can get this amount of money. So you must back up your data. Number 6 is you must understand the value of time. My friends, CEOs, ExCos have very little time to do a lot of things, and I've learned the hard way. So learning to manage your time in all aspects is key, and especially when you get a chance to present a certain case. Go take care of all your data, put your presentations very well together, talk about, be very specific, be very specific, hit the nail on the head. You understand? Do not go with an unresearched research. Just finish in time. If you're given 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes and you're out. I hope if you've been following even the debates, you see somebody, you have a very good point, but you're cut short. You're cut short before time is up, because time is up. And this takes me to point number 7, which I'm saying is you must have the ability to explain matters clearly and in the way that people can understand. And this takes me to the issue of elevator pitch. For instance, I want everybody to go home tonight and think, or I know you're home, think, if today you met the one person you have really longed to meet in your lifetime, you walk into a lift, the lift opens, you're going inside, and inside is that particular person. It could be a president, it could be somebody that you really hold in high regard, and you're going up and this person says, hey, come in. It could be Obama, and you guys are going 2 floors up together, and he or she says, hey, hi, Lucy. Hi, what's your name and what do you do? If you're able to tell them who you are and what you do in less than a minute before that lift gets to the next floor, then you're good to go. So that's how you're going to practice the ability to explain matters clearly in a summarized way to save people time. Number 8, you must develop key relationships. So I don't know if you've heard about something that's called sponsorships in career. Having a sponsor in your career is very important. I can never overemphasize. And a sponsor is basically someone who elevates your visibility out in the workplace. Somebody who will mention your name in places you haven't even stepped. Somebody who sees your potential. Somebody who knows if this man sits in the board, they will do marvelous. That is your sponsor. If you watched when Judge Katanji was being interviewed, and I hope you all know who Judge Katanji is, there was a lady who was interviewed, and she was being asked about Katanji. Her name is Lisa, and you should have heard the pitch she gave of her friend, because they were both sponsoring each other. These are people who are able to sponsor you, who are able to say something about you and the capability that you have. It is important to have those people in your life. They could be in the current organization, in another organization, and that does not mean you are not aware of all the other relationships and partnerships that you can develop. You must have networks, and these people, especially if you're eyeing a board position in either an organization or outside, you must have people from your departments, because then you get to understand what these people do. You have insights. You can have people who are your peers, other leaders, people you admire. You can ask to have relationships and have networks with these people. When you hear people are going for a business networking dinner, join the bandwagon. But as long as it aligns with what you do, it's important to have to develop those relationships. And finally, I know you're tired of me speaking. Finally, I cannot overemphasize enough the power of making yourself visible. And how do you make yourself visible? You make yourself visible by building a strong brand. You must brand yourself, because you can be given a seat at the table, but you have no visibility. The seat is there, but perhaps it's at the back bench, So you want to have a seat and be at the front. You have to speak. People really tease me a lot, because anywhere I go, be it church, by the way, in church, I sit hapo tu nyuma ya pastor, because I sit in front. Generally, that's who I am. I will take myself to the front. I will sit. I find an empty seat. You will never hear people tell me, hey, people at the back, move in front so that people can have seats. No, I will always be at the front. So you must make yourself visible. LinkedIn is a good tool. If you are really keen on this matter in this area and sitting in a board, read articles, read your books, write things, let people know what you're reading. I think if you've looked at my LinkedIn, I'm quite visible, and it's because this matters that I write about are causes after my own heart, and that's how I get visibility. Some of the boards I sit in are people who just said, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Because I see you do this, you do that. Let's get to know each other in that regard. Now, that's my final one. And I believe with those tips, you are on your way to taking on boardrooms. I will be taking questions very, very quickly, and then we can move on from here. And thank you very, very much for listening. Over to you, Grace.
Thank you very much, Lucy. I am smiling because you have really hit the nail on the head, especially on the fact that people want to sit at the back and not at the front. And I remember one time a mentor of mine told me that even in weddings or anywhere he goes, he sits at the front. And the worst they can do is just ask you to move to the back because the seats are reserved. But the advantage is you'll have taken the drumstick part of the chicken because you sat at the front. So I kind of relate with you. And Lucy, you were to tell us about how interviews are done at the board.
Yes. Yeah. So I didn't want to forget that. So interesting, because board interviews can take and usually take two dimensions or two ways. One, you can be interviewed normal, like you're interviewed in a for a job interview. You're in a boardroom and you're asked questions, and you wait, and then you're vetted and you wait. But the most common one, and I have been through also, is certain companies interested in you, and they want to get you on board as their board advisor or board director. And so they say, there shall be a cocktail on such and such a date and such a time. So you're invited. And so the whole time you are there, eating all the bitings you can eat and all the, you know, little drinks you can have. Kumbe, there is some people just watching how you are behaving, how you are interacting with people, because you'll be interacting with stakeholders, you know, how you are chewing, even perhaps, you know, the conversations, the kind of conversations you're having. Are they, you know, conversations that are wholesome, or, you know, are you on about the curtains around the room? But people are listening. This is how sometimes a board position, you get a board position, or you get interviewed for a board position. So you get home and you're not called. So I'm sure you wonder, is it because I ate 3 samosas, I was supposed to eat 1, or, you know, but anyway, jokes aside, but that's how sometimes board interviews happen. So what I'm saying is you have to be board ready. You have to be born ready. If you are asked, there's this meeting that it's a lunch meeting, you're meeting a group of people, go there, have your lunch, have your business speak, know who you're meeting, and then be very, very, very careful, you know, what comes out of your mouth and the kind of conversations that you have.
No, I agree with you, Lucy, because some jobs you're called for because of the conversation you had while you were at a cocktail or something. And speaking of which, allow me to recognize the presence of my good friend Herbert Zake from Uganda, and anyone who is tuned here from I know Andrew is in the governing council of HR Mau, and anyone from the HR Mau community who is tuned in on this call, and of course the Rwanda HR Association, and of course for us Kenyans. And Lucy, I just announced an event that we have on the 29th. Actually, I'm supporting my friend. Let me not say that I'm part of the team, but yeah, we are, Nelson is launching an app for data analytics and metrics. And I hope that the people who are tuned in on this call can show up, because that will be very necessary. As Lucy has said, that you need to actually have your numbers correct. But Lucy, there's a question here by an anonymous attendee who is saying, this is very insightful. I have been reading books, listening to mentors on fear. I have a lot of fear. What do you advise me in building my confidence?
Wow, building your confidence. My friend, you just have to build it, eh? But what you need to also evaluate is where your fear is coming from. Remember when I said we begin with why for everything? So for you is why am I feeling fearful? Could it be because I don't feel well equipped enough or knowledgeable enough in a certain area? You know, this is something you take a pen and a paper and you do a SWOT analysis on yourself. The same way you do a SWOT analysis on the company you work for, or, you know, in school or whatever. You do a SWOT analysis. Number 1, where is the fear coming from? Why do I have this fear? More often than not, because that will be the basis of your of lack of confidence. So more often than not, you will find out that 2 things: either there's lack of knowledge or minimal knowledge in the area, and then 2, it could also be the classic imposter syndrome, and it gets everyone. I get it. The best of the best get imposter syndrome. It could be that because you could be very knowledgeable, but then you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is me. And I can tell you, actually, let me get on video as I say this. Sometimes, yeah, so it can also be imposter syndrome, and I get it. Sometimes when I'm introduced, when people stand up to introduce me, and I just want them to say 2 things, you know, just say, Lucy, you know, leader, governance, people, culture, capability, bas. But when they go on and on and on and on, and I'm seated there and I think I'm about to stand, then they continue, I feel like, you know what, I can't do this. This is not me. I am afraid, you know, maybe I'm not actually, probably I didn't even learn all that. Maybe I don't even know. So it gets the best of everyone. And all you need to do is really be aware of that and then do something about it. If it's knowledge, then you have to work on that. And remember, anyone that has come across me knows that I really emphasize on reading. My friends, read. You have to read. Wachana na Netflix and chill. Just read. Read something before you sleep. Read something in the morning. Just read. You will build your knowledge base and your confidence. That's for sure.
All right, and there's one of my favorite quotes is competence powers confidence. Competence powers confidence.
Wow.
Is one of my favorite quote by Lina JB Kilimo. Right, there's a question from an anonymous person again. How do you take your place at the table in a hostile environment where the MD is actually fighting you?
I mean, I don't have no monopoly to knowledge, but I'll say, why is the MD fighting you? Have you looked inside you? Is it evaluate both situations? There's two sides to a story, and I'm not saying it's good. I am not condoning or saying it is good for somebody to fight you in the workplace, but I want to know, I would want to ask, what is going on? Why are you being fought? You understand? If two things here, one, it could be personal. If it's personal, I have nothing to say about that. Personally, I concern myself with business. Anything that affects the business, then it becomes a concern. So if it's personal, I don't have an answer. If it's business, find out why. Is it because there's something that is expected that is not being done? Is it because the other, it could also be a problem with the other person. So for me, I would say, really evaluate why you have this hostile environment in the workplace. It may not necessarily be as a result of you doing something or saying something or not doing something. It may also, it could also be coming from the other side of the organization, your MD. They could be intimidated, and I'm not saying that's the truth. It's just for you to evaluate, and then look at the times when you disagree. What are you disagreeing about, and when do you disagree? You should be able to have an indication of why the environment is hostile. And there are different ways that you can, or rather, there are different situations that would present the why that is happening. So to answer your question, how do you deal with that? I would say tact and communication. You know, if you are, I don't think anyone is going to fire you if you express very tactfully, very respectfully, the issues that you are encountering in the workplace. So check those ones out and speak. Don't just have, don't return hostility with hostility. Say, let's have a sit down. What is going on? And then from there, you should be able to find your footing. And I would like to engage with you maybe after this, because maybe you're not able to talk about the real issue here. You just said hostile is generic. So I would like to engage with you and see how we can go about that.
No, right. Yeah, I think sometimes we say a root cause analysis is yes, the best in such a place. Is there a recording for this? Yes, there will be. We upload this on our YouTube channel, and we are also live on Facebook. Liz is asking, how do we women gain confidence on a male-dominated boardrooms?
By being knowledgeable. You have to know what they know, and even better, know what they know. Have your facts, you know, and speak. Have your voice heard. When you speak, people listen. If you don't speak, or people speak over you, then there becomes a problem, and they get used to that. And I think one of the other issues I've had, which is almost related, is the bullying. You know, the subtle bullying in the boardroom, where, you know, women are you maybe you're the only woman, or even you're just women in the boardroom, and there are several men. And there's some sort of bullying that goes on there. If you don't stand up for yourself, no one else will, you know. And I'll give an example that is has been given very many times, where when a woman is seen in any meeting, you know, and especially a board meeting, and it's time to take refreshments, I think the men just sit down hoping that the woman will pass them a cup of tea. Now, if you do that, my friend, do that because you want to. If you want to, me, I'm not the kind of person to do that, but do that if you are. For me, I will not pass you tea. I will take my tea and sit down and continue, because I am there on merit, the same way you're there on merit. Respectfully, by the way, not aggressively, not disrespectfully. Just pick your tea and sit down, and let's do business. I think what really brings issues is when we have another perspective when we're in the boardroom or when we're in a serious meeting. If you're there for business, go in there for business and get out, you know. So build your confidence by reading, having knowledge, and knowing what you went there for, and then just standing up for yourself. Speak up.
Okay. And then there's somebody who is asking, how is it that finance professionals are preferred to CEO than HR? Are we of a lesser gods?
No. You can't even say we are of a lesser god, because this is direct. It's because we don't know business. That's why finance finance people have been left to act on behalf of the CEO for a very long time. Do we know business? So this is where we want to get ourselves from. We want to get ourselves from having this victim mentality that we're not being picked, and finance people are being picked, sales people are being picked, because these are people who understand business. When they go to pitch, they pitch with numbers. And now it's time for us to stand up and say, hey, I know how these people work. I know the psychology of people. I also know numbers, and I know our business. So we have to be able to bring on board what these people, these other professionals are bringing on board. And hey, things are changing. We have seen people like, becoming CEOs, from HR to CEOs. You've seen that. Paul Russo is one of our proudest people. I mean, professionals we're looking at. Everyone is talking about that. So we can be able to do it. And we are the only ones who are going to get ourselves out of that rut.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think in all honesty, I think if you're on this call, you need to appreciate the fact that we have made some strides as HR professionals. Are we there yet? Oh no, we are far from being there. But have we made progress? Yes, we have. Are we going to make more progress? Yes, we are. And especially when we change and start standing up for ourselves, I think we will keep growing and keep having more numbers. Like I know quite a number of people on this call who are also sitting in a number of boards. So I had you, Stella, saying, I had you say when CEOs are out of the office, mostly it's the finance manager who sits in. What should HR's professionals do to become CEOs? I'm tempted to say that is pretty much what we've been discussing today. Exactly. Don't you think?
Yes, it's exactly what we've discussed today.
Yeah, and if you go on the chat, Stella, if you came in a bit late, you will find the summary that Dennis Mudamba has really done a good summary of the 9 points that Lucy has shared this evening for your reference, because that is exactly what you need to do to become the CEO. Trying to see, HR needs to be in the business of the business, understand operations on the ground. And I agree. Irene says, evaluate who you hang around. You are as good as your network. All right. So probably on the last question, or the second last, what's your current read, or which book can you recommend to gaining confidence or being bold?
Oof, so many books. Right now, I'm turning my face towards my bookshelf. Gaining confidence. Must it be that? Can I send Grace a list of books, maybe 5?
Yeah, sure.
Is that okay? Then you can share with everybody that attended this webinar.
Yeah, I can attach that when I'm sending the thank you message and as I share the recording, yes, so that then they can have access to that. Grace, share the notes. Unfortunately, we do not have notes. You can scroll up the chat. Daniel has made a very, very good summary of the points that Lucy has shared. And if you listen to the recording, you'll be able to catch on to now the examples that she was giving. And Lucy, there's a question I always get. Every time I meet HR professionals, they normally say, I want to do what you're doing, or I want to be out there. I want to network. I want to be out there, but they don't know where to start. I don't know, maybe you can share a few pointers, like you write on LinkedIn, I run these webinars. What are the other ways that people can use to just be out there?
Not everyone is a writer. That's for sure. I'm also not a writer, but you know, have your speak. You know, like what you're doing now. You know, it's one thing. If there is a topic that you are really good at, or an area that you're really good at, just write a status about it. How is it that we are so fast and quick to, you know, take a picture on Instagram and post with a long caption? Do those captions on LinkedIn. Do professional captions. You can be, there are many ways of branding yourself. So write something. Do some sort of status on LinkedIn, and then attend meetings such as this, you know, and say, this is my year of yes. They ask you to come and speak for 3 minutes, say yes. They ask you to speak for 10 minutes, say yes. They ask you to take on a certain role in a certain, you know, seminar or meetup, say yes. Just put yourself out there and do what you do best. You will grow. And don't underestimate the power of having the right networks. Networking with the right people and ensuring that you know what is going on around you. So don't have this knowledge and keep it to yourself. No.
Certainly, certainly. And somebody is asking about, Helen is saying, what are your names on LinkedIn? I would like to follow you. Maybe you can put that on the chat. As
Yes,
I choose, let me share my screen. All right, so you guys, I promised that we have some giveaways from Pathway Solutions. We have 3 people, each will get 2 LMS training courses of choice, and the choices are 6 of them: high performance teams in remote workplace, developing new managers, a talent management, office politics for managers, developing corporate behavior, and crisis management. 3 people will get a chance to get 2 trainings in the list provided here. So if you're on the call, please take a screenshot and quickly send me an email. Quickly, don't raise your hands, just send me an email and I'll be able to give you. It's normally first come, first served. And if you can, please write why you think you deserve the win. And then 10 companies, 10 organizations, or did I read? Okay, yeah, so training offers to companies. 10 companies will get a chance to get executive leadership courses. I have the brochure with me. So if you send an email, the title should be company trainings, and I'll be able to share with you the brochure for you to change. Training delivery will be in September or October. Date and month and time to be agreed with the organization. Terms of offer: 10 companies and each company 2 training courses. This is workshop based. First come, first given the offer, must send an email expressing interest. Free training and certificate workshop for each attendee. Training delivery will be on Zoom or Google Meet, and the duration will be 2 to 3 hours. So we have, I think his calendar for the month of August is now packed because we've been offering this for the last couple of months. Sessions, and now next week, for next week, I think we've moved to September and October. So 10 companies will get a chance to be trained by Pathway Solutions for free, and he trains up to a maximum of 100 people on Zoom or on Google Meet. So send me an email. I believe, I don't know who has anyone shared my email. Please don't send me your emails on the chat. I will not even have a look at them. It's easier to send them on email so that I can be able to follow through. Oh yeah, Shamim, you're on the call. Karibu sana. Thank you very much for joining us. Wow. Shamim happens to be the vice chair for HR Mao, and this is the HR Association of Uganda. I am putting my email on the chat. I don't know where my team is today. Atara solutions.co.ke. It's grace@atarasolutions.co.ke. And you can also, yeah, I have shared my email on the chat, so you can do that. And just So I was trying to get Frank's email. Yes, Brian, no more suspects excluded. Yes. I am so happy that we got quite a number of you guys to join. Brian from Uganda. I have seen Andrew. I have seen Herbert Zake. I've seen Shamim. Those are the ones at least I have met physically. I can pick their names from the attendees. But yeah, your parting shot, Lucy.
It can be done and it is possible. It is our time. Let's do it.
Actually, Lucy, I met somebody. We were at the HR summit at Strathmore last week, and somebody said it is a very interesting time to be an HR professional because the opportunities are immense, and we have been given a platter right now. Yes. It is time for us to grab whatever it is that has been offered. It's no longer a struggle to sit at the table. It is now finding your value at the table. Exactly. So yeah.
And just to add on that, by the way, remember, sometimes we are our own stumbling block. So think of how you could be a stumbling block to yourself. Yeah. You know, you don't know something, go and try and find out how things work. Get an opportunity, take that opportunity, go learn. Enda ukijuanga uko mbele, but just take the opportunity.
Yeah, certainly, certainly.
Yeah. And I want to wish you all the very best. I mean, I can't wait to hear good news on, you know, being able to have that seat in the boardroom. And I know there are challenges, to be honest. You know, we can say all these things, but it's not to say that there are not challenges. There are really, really huge challenges to even getting there. Some challenges such as, you know, some people are wondering, okay, so where do I start? Some people are saying, you know, I work in a government entity. Before you get there, you have to pita katikati yao. But I'm telling you, there will always be a way. Prove your worth, and there will always be a way. I think, I don't know if you've talked to the people that I see, 2 hands raised up, Rachel and Florence. I don't know if we can take those two and then quickly go watch the debate.
Yes. Go ahead. Of course, Florence's hand has gone down as soon as you mentioned. Rachel, I don't know whether you wanted to talk. Bahati, you can go. Bahati.
Okay, that was a mistake. I didn't know my hand was up, but it's good. The call is nice. Thank you.
All right. And I believe the others have put down their hands.
Okay, that's good.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So all of them are saying, sorry, it was a mistake. Okay. So I think we have covered quite a lot of what we need. If you're looking to sit in the board and you're looking for a coach, do you do coaching, Lucy?
No, I don't.
You don't do coaching? What?
No, I don't do coaching.
Okay. Yeah. So Lucy says she doesn't do coaching, but she can come and talk to you guys if you're looking for a trainer on matters board, especially. I think Lucy can be able to offer that. She's a board evaluator. So if you're also looking to hire people on your board, then she would be a good addition to your panel. So that you can get that done. All right. I would like to also encourage you all who have taken the courses with Pathway Solutions to actually try and finish them. We have gotten quite a number of references and testimonials. In fact, our favorite today, Frank and I were talking, was from Joseph. Joseph is deaf. And he has managed to do the courses and managed to finish. In fact, he got an additional 2 trainings today. As a result, I was looking for his his email, but I really can't find it. But yeah, thank you very much for your feedback, Joseph Atiang. I know Catherine had reached out to you, and we really are proud that you have to come. So thank you so much, our people, for being with us this evening. We really appreciate. Shout out to all the HR Mao people who joined today, and of course our fellow HR professionals from Nairobi, Kenya, and also Rwanda and Tanzania, and of course my people from Kinshasa. Kinshasa, where? All right, and of course allow us to let you know that next week we are looking at HR at the global arena. How do you prepare yourself for the UN jobs? How do you prepare yourself for international jobs? And we are hosting my very, very good friend who is currently working at Brussels, and that will be lit as always. I can promise you that. And please keep it here every Tuesday. For those of you who came in late, we will upload the link on our YouTube channel, and we'll be able to share with you, or you can actually subscribe, Get It Right with the Tara Solutions. Allow us to recognize our partners, Balcon Housing, Stallion Construction Company, Pathway Solution Services, Institute of Pension Management. If you're here and you're looking to do your CHRP, all the HRs on the call and you have not done your CHRP and you're wondering which college to register with, Institute of Pension Management offer the course. They have two options. You can take your class physically or you can take an online course. So Institute of Pension Management will be your best bet. And then we have the College of Career Guidance and Development. We have Fina Gardens. If you're taking a holiday in Naivasha, Fina Gardens have a pool. They have awesome fish, and they have an offer for you for those who are followers on Get It Right with the Tara Solutions. They are located on Moi South Lake in Naivasha. And then we have Panessa Training Institute, we have Weeklin, we have Kapula Mintito, we have the Career Management Center, and we have Ames College of Business and Technology. So for those of you who are looking to buy a piece of land, Balcon Housing will be there for you. Stallion Construction Company, if you're looking to renovate your house or your office or anything to do with construction, then Stallion Construction will be your support. And of course, we're very, very grateful for the free training courses that we've been able to attend through Pathway Solution Services. We really, really can't thank you enough, Frank, for being very supportive. People are getting certificates because of the training. People are getting equipped with more knowledge to be able to sit in boards, like we are saying. Please do not forget to join us on the 29th of July. I repeat, on the 29th of July, in the evening at Golden Tulip, we will be launching, we are discussing HR analytics and metrics, and we will also be launching an app developed by our very own Nelson Oguda, who will be launching an app for HR analytics and metrics. So you have heard what Lucy has said. If you want to sit in the board, then analytics, make analytics your friend. And we are going to give you the tools that you actually need. And with that said, thank you so much for making the time to join us this evening. I know most of you have missed the debate for the deputy president, and we are grateful that you made it here with us, and thank you so much. Please don't forget to join us next Tuesday as we look at HR in the global arena. How do you get yourself a job in the UN? How do you grow your career? And how do you excel in terms of HR as a profession as we finalize on the HR month and get back to discussing everything and anything that affects entrepreneurs and employees. So thank you so much, guys. And I really, it's a pleasure. Please follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Instagram, dear, follow, yes. So follow us on Instagram, like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Get It Right with the Tara Solutions, and keep it here. You can also join our I don't know whether Jacinta is on the call to share with us on the, what do we call it? Our YouTube, our WhatsApp group for people to join. But I can probably drop my number for those who are still here. And you want to join our WhatsApp group, please just let me know so that you can keep being updated on what's happening. So thank you so much, you guys. And yeah, you can register for HR metrics on the chat on the link that Nelson has put on the chat. It's happening on the 29th of July from 6 p.m. at Golden Tulip. It's a dinner, and we will be discussing HR metrics and giving you the tools that you need to excel, HR analytics and HR metrics. Other than that, I have always been your host, Grace Nzula, and see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Asante sana, Catherine Sidandi. You are awesome. You are wonderful. May God keep blessing you. May God keep expanding your boundaries. We really appreciate your partnership. Asante.